What up? What up? What up, Jay Money?
What's going on?
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Mean Green Show. Jay and I got thighs out, ready to talk about this week's podcast. How was your weekend?
It was good, man. Had a good time. Went to Astros game yesterday.
Yeah. Did they win?
No,
It wasn't good.
hopefully that was their worst loss of the season, but it's okay.
Hopefully. I don't even remember what I did this weekend. My sister-in-law, Liz, had a birthday, so we went to go eat some
Happy
food.
belated, Liz.
Happy birthday, B-girl, Lizzie Pooh. So, man, last week, shout out to Pauletta.
Absolutely.
He came in, represented. We were able to talk about some cool things. Can you introduce, for those that may be joining this series for the first time, introduce what the series is?
Yeah, so this series, we're going over the shocking truths of fitness.
Yeah.
So recap on last week. Last week we talked about
Instant gratification.
Yes, sir. So if you didn't get a chance to check that episode out, it'd be a good time to go back, listen to that one before you listen to this one. But yeah, instant gratification was last week's topic, and then this week we're gonna hit y'all with another shocking truth.
You know, this one's good because I think a lot of us has either dealt with it and thought it and tried it ourselves, and I'm just gonna call it as it is, man. This episode we're gonna talk about calories, right? But a lot of people get caught into the amount you eat dictate your success and results, which is true. However, a lot of people, and this is the shocking truth, you don't have to starve yourself on calories to lose weight.
No.
All right? Listen, you cannot starve yourself to lose weight. All right?
Doesn't work.
I think we got to be really – this is one of those, Jared, just to be honest, man, we can't sugarcoat it. We're going to step on some toes.
Yeah.
And if conviction takes place, conviction is not always a bad thing. Conviction sometimes make you implement and make the right decision moving forward.
Yeah.
So, Jared, I guess I'll start with the first question to you. And, guys, we want your feedback down below. I would love to review and see what you guys think. Have you ever known anybody to say, I'm going to eat 400 calories a day because I want to lose weight?
Absolutely. I think people do it all the time. Like, I think if you are trying to lose weight and somebody tells you you have to be at a caloric deficit, you're like, okay, well, if I eat 200 calories and I burn 3,000, then that's what, 18, my math is working out, that's 2,000 so-and-so calories. I'm going to lose a lot of weight, and I'm going to lose it quick. You're just forgetting about all of the details and things that go in between of your body functioning properly. So many things that you just leave out because you're thinking, oh, if the more I burn and the less I eat, the more fat I lose.
Yeah. Let's talk about the first point that jumps off the top of my head.
Yeah.
You can die. Seriously.
The shocking truth. Hopefully that's not shocking. That's the bottom line.
That's a reality.
Yeah.
Like you walk around with just a head and skin,
emaciated,
eating 300 calories a day,
Yep.
and you do that for a couple months. Like, no, seriously, you can literally die.
Yep.
You know, and the anatomy of the body is implemented to fuel it to move, right? The body's made, if you look at the body, the way that the knees bend, right, we're produced to move forward a lot faster than we are backwards, right? So there are some things just when it comes to anatomy of the body, it makes sense because that's the way we're made. You got to look at the nutrition aspect as well. I know we get caught into being so strategic and we want to work smarter, not harder. But honestly, if you're going to work smarter and not harder, you do have to figure out how to fuel your body correctly. Yeah. And eating 300 to 500 calories a day, boo, that's just not going to do it. So number one for me, man, like, don't die doing this.
No.
Like, we don't want people collapsing in HEB as they're shopping. We don't want people going out to their family and friends reunion and you fall out at the park. You go into the mall, you're trying to shop until you drop, and literally you drop because you don't have enough fuel in your body. And I'm saying this jokingly, but I've heard stories. I've known people that actually collapse in public because they were so much of a go-getter and they thought that, as Siri heard my conversation and said something, you're such a go-getter. You're like, I'm just not going to eat. I'm going to do this, and then I'm so strong-minded. I'm just going to, and then you collapse and you pass out. So number one for me, man, don't do this to make you die. Like, we're here to have a longer, stronger life. So hearing that, Jared, what's something else different besides when you hear eating such a low deficit of calories besides dying? What else can take place if you eat that low?
I mean, we're just forming a bad habit. I know we talked a lot about the vicious cycle of continuing, like, I want to lose this weight, so I'm going to cut right now. And again, I'm gonna eat as little as I can to lose all of this weight. And then once you're done, because you've done something that's not sustainable, you fall back. So it's really forming bad habits.
Absolutely.
And like I said, a vicious cycle of bad health, right? So that's something that can form of you continuing to go back to cutting because you see those, I guess, what we talked about last week, the instant gratification of not eating. But at the end of the day, like you sit down and look at the scale. Okay, the scale, if you're not eating, can give you that instant gratification. But at the end of the day, what are you actually losing?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And that's not what you want to lose. And that's the part that's bad, because you do step on the scale. And let's say you're not eating enough. Not only are you probably losing fat, you're losing muscle. Yeah. And vital muscle, right? And not only are you losing fat, sometimes you lose vital fat. Like you lose fat that you need to support your body. Yeah. So, just forming bad habits, bad things that can be toxic to your health, toxic to your mentality, toxic to everything that you're about when it comes to fitness. So,
what about mentality or attitude? Like, I'm curious on the person, Jared. And since it's on you, you answer this. What kind of mood are you in? Right? If you eating 400 calories a day, I don't know if any of y'all ever been hangry. Is it hangry? I don't know if any of y'all ever been hangry. You been hangry before? It's just a while ago. Chris is starting to get hangry now, right?
Hangry.
But what's your attitude?
Your attitude is, I mean, let's just say it's not you. You ever seen those Snickers commercials? You're not you when you're hungry. That's straight up. You turn into a different beast.
Straight up.
You don't give the people, like, you honestly, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing the people around you a disservice if you're walking around having to be in that mood because you're not eating enough.
Yeah.
You don't get to be your best you. Nobody gets to experience your best you because you're hungry. And it doesn't matter what anybody says to you, you're hungry. You're going to have a bad attitude. Yeah. You're going to be angry. You're going to be set off easily. You don't have the strength, the capacity to, be patient when you need to be if you're at a heavy work environment. You don't have the capacity to give your all-out effort in a workout when you need to. You don't have the effort to, if you have kids, to give your kids your best version of yourself. If you have family, a husband, a wife, to give them your best energy. If you're driving in traffic, you might road rage because you're hungry. Mess around, put your life in danger simply because you're hungry. Like, there's so many life factors that could come because you just won't eat. Right. So I think that's a big thing as well.
And I know people want to lose weight to look a certain way, but everything that you just said, I'm pretty sure comes with that formula. They want to be with their kids. They want to be able to be in a good mood. They want to be able to travel. Like, all those things you just mentioned. Like, why would you put yourself in that position to not experience that? Yeah. Right. So again, this is just a shocking truth for a lot of people, and it's important to me, at least, I say that, it's important to me for everybody to realize, Jared, when you're doing what you're doing, like, are you doing it for a season or are you doing it for the longevity, right? So to give an example, coaching boys basketball, okay? I'm coaching right now first graders, right? The longevity of me to coach first graders is a very short window because my sons will be in the second grade in a couple months. When they get to the 10th grade, I'm probably not going to be coaching first graders no more, right? So I know going into that the season of what I'm doing is short. Now, if I'm looking for something more longevity, I like empowering people. I like developing business owners, right? Yeah. I'm going to do that whether my child wants to do that or not. Yeah. So I'm in that for the long run. So now let's talk about eating 400 calories. Are you doing that for a short season because you just want to get on the scale for, I don't know, a birthday dress and then go back to all your old habits? Or do you want to find something that you can do that's sustainable and you can stay fine and define, right? How, off of your experience with the countless amount of people you worked with, what's the authentic truth, Jared? How long can somebody do that willpower? Straight up.
Honestly, I haven't seen it longer than 3 months, to be honest. Longer than 3 months, because you start to break at a certain point in time, right? Like, you need a break at a certain point in time. And I think we talked about this. I kind of relate dieting and stuff like that to I try to bring it back to sports for us, right? Because we talk about football, basketball specifically. Basketball, the Rockets. Let's bring the Rockets into this. The Rockets are officially in off season.
Yeah.
Playoffs just started. We ain't in playoffs, so it's off season for them. So all of the training, the work, everything that they've been putting in, the daily in the gym, traveling, all of that kind of stuff, the toll that's been on their body, they can finally hang it up for 2, 3, 4 months, however long it is their off season is, before they have to get back into it.
Or
it's not sustainable year round. So you'll even see, like, yeah, you'll get the videos of people hooping in the gym, doing summer leagues, all of that kind of stuff. But that right now, they're going to take about a month or two off.
Yeah.
Now, that's their life, right? That's their lifestyle. That's what they do. But dieting, I feel like, is the same way. If you are training for a competition, right, if you're training for game days and all of that kind of stuff, I'm not saying what we're saying is irrelevant. You still don't need to be out in Walmart passing out. But it's understandable that you might be a whole lot more strict on what you're eating or how much you're eating because you're trying to get a specific look to be on stage and be judged. So that makes sense. It's understandable. But if we're out here playing the game of life and we're just trying to maintain and live a healthy lifestyle, that makes no sense, right? Well, how can we perform in a season that's year-round?
Yeah.
That's the goal. At the end of the day, like I said, if we're looking at football and how strict they have to work out, the toll that they take on their body, the game days that they have to go through, you need an off-season. That's not a year-round sport, and it's not year-round for a reason.
Word.
So you can't approach the two the same way. We can't look at people doing competitions and think, oh, that's year-round for me. No, you are going to break your body down because you need an off-season from that. So that's kind of the view I have on that. You definitely want to get into a year-round approach. What can I do year-round with no off-season?
Well said. So as you're brainstorming on 400, why it's not important or why it is important for 400, I do want to finish with a statement. I need your feedback down below. I'm gonna actually ask Erica as well. Where did people or where did you ever hear that eating that low a deficit of calories it works? Like, where did you hear that from? Did you ever hear that it worked, or did we come up with it ourselves? What you thinking? Where did it come from, you think? Did you come up with it on your own? I love it. I love it.
So if y'all didn't hear what she said, no. She said she just came up with it. Nobody told her. And I guess you just think the less you eat, or if you don't eat, you'll lose weight without thinking. You'll lose muscle. You'll lose your mind.
Right. Literally.
The ability to function, regular body functioning.
Yeah. So this is my whole thing with that philosophy, right? Because it is a philosophy. It's something that you think is real and you try it to the best of your capability, right? And you can think of whatever somebody does in their career. If I came to that subject line and said what I thought, because of my experience, it might not be right, but it is my experience.
Yeah.
My question is, as we discuss this, who's going to make it different for their lifestyle?
Yeah.
Okay, we're telling you right now, it doesn't work. It's not healthy for you, number one. Number two, it's not sustainable. And number three, you're not going to get the results that you really want. Even if you eat a low deficit meal like that, calorie intake like that for the next 3 to 4 months, and you're saying, hey, Chris, I want to be defined. I want my arms cut up. That ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Like, yeah. She's talking about especially as a woman, right?
Yeah.
So, I just really want to encourage somebody today, whether they do Mean Green or whether they just follow the movement, like you can do this the right way, but that is not the way to do it, and it's kind of like me wanting to go fix, I don't know, a toilet, right? I don't know nothing about plumbing, right? It's because the restaurant's right in front of you guys. So that's why I said that. But if I want to go fix that, what makes sense to me is that I will get something, a tool to take whatever's inside of it out, and then it should operate better.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Is that simple?
I mean, if it's toilet paper in there or tissue or women products, like the plunger, it can be like I didn't rig some stuff up before, but once you get it out, it should work. But one time I seen a plumber actually put more water in there for whatever. I'm not a plumber, right?
I've seen that too.
I've actually seen them put more water in for it to work, right? To flush it. I don't know, right? But when somebody teach me the game, I know. What, am I wrong? All right. Yeah. Got to figure it out. I just asked.
I'm about to say, there go the local handy woman.
Yeah,
I'm
she
like,
probably knows. She probably really know. Yeah. But getting to the point is, it's about not having ignorance,
Yeah.
right? And ignorance is not a bad word. It just means you don't know, and sometimes we don't know.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a nicer way to say it, right? Well, y'all know my heart. So, so as we're leading to that, Jared, question I have for you. If somebody really, they understand what we're saying, but maybe they got sick before. You know, you get like the flu,
Yeah.
and they lost a lot of weight because they wasn't, doing whatever. Or maybe they did a cleanse.
Yeah.
Maybe they did a fast, and they did lose weight.
Yeah.
What's the difference between fasting and detoxing versus eating a low-calorie intake diet plan?
First off, think about what it took for you to lose that weight. All right, whenever you were fasting, whenever you were, let's say you did get sick, whenever you were on that detox, what took place during that season? So let's throw a detox out there. Most recently, I heard somebody say, "I'm about to start a detox."
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to stay in the house all week because I heard I'm going to have to be next to this toilet for quite a while.
I've heard that one. I've heard that one.
So, well, when it comes to losing good weight, right, from working out, doing all that kind of stuff, like, think about what it is. Like, is that what you consider or what would consider healthy for where you're trying to be? Is that long-term sustainable? So every time you want to lose weight, you're like, all right, I'm going to see y'all next week. I'm finna go lose this weight.
Right.
I'm going to sit in this house and sit next to this toilet for the next week. That's how you're going to lose your weight. One, you're not working out, right? You're not sustainably doing things that are going to strengthen your body, strengthen your muscles. And then I want to kind of take it towards the sickness. Yes, you might have lost that weight, but think you literally had to lay in bed and let your body pretty much break down and eat at itself in order for you to lose that weight. Is that healthy?
All right.
Like, that's really the question. Is it healthy?
Is that healthy?
So for you to say, yeah, okay, this is what I want to do, and I know it's going to help me lose weight, is that healthy? Like, that's really the question you ask yourself. And if you can genuinely say, yes, this was healthy, me laying down, me sitting next to this toilet, me doing X, Y, Z, like, if you can genuinely sit there and say, I believe this is healthy, that's your belief. But the answer is truly no, it's not. So,
man,
what's your
huh? What you say? I feel attacked.
Now, if you did a detox just to simply cleanse your body, that's different. But if your intention of it is, I'm about to lose this weight, that's where it changes.
I like it. I think you gotta also, Jared, look at what the word means to what you're doing, right? When you say I am fasting, typically when I hear someone fasting, it's for a spiritual reason.
Absolutely.
Right? They weaken the body to strengthen the spirit. Right? When I hear someone say, what's the other term? Detoxing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally trying to flush out what does not need to be in my body.
Yeah.
Neither one of them say weight loss.
Yeah, that's true.
Neither one of them say muscle strength or balance or stabilization or posture. Like, the things that we get out of working out and eating healthy, a detox doesn't necessarily do that to a T. Now, obviously, it's here to flush your system, right? So when someone says that, great. When someone says, what was the other one? Fasting, like, hey man, I go to such and such, and my belief is that I need to do this for 30 days, 60 days, whatever. Great. But it's not for weight loss. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents with that. And at the end of the day, I just want people to, as T said, shout out to T. What'd she say, my 30s? I keep forgetting. My 30s are late.
Not on time.
My 30s are not on time. So with my 30s not being on time, I've been able to experience life as a collegiate athlete, right? And someone that had the inspiration to go pro. And then I've had the luxury to be a part of the fitness space and be there for the first year or two and be excited about just impacting and losing weight and doing whatever I could, and then continuing education from year 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 to 10 to 12 and just continues. Now I'm going into 14 to 15. Like, it doesn't take that much to lose weight,
Yeah.
right? I truly believe it's harder. Everybody's different. Look at me. Everybody's different. You're not going to agree with me, some of you. I just think it's easier for me to make healthier food choices than putting my finger in my throat to make it puke every hour of the hour. I'd rather say, hey, I'm going to count my macros versus stand by a toilet every first week of the month because I want to detox myself. So I believe the law in hyperdynamics. Energy cannot be exchanged. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be exchanged from one form to another. So I have the energy. Do I want to use it more so on figuring out how to fuel my body and what apps to make me, or what food plan, or what nutritionist, or what coach that can help me? Or do I want to always go from one detox to another, trying to live and operate and still not get the results?
Yeah.
That's what's frustrating for me. I just couldn't imagine doing that detox every Friday for the rest of my life and then look in the mirror and still not be excited. That's just the shocking truth. Because that's where some of us are at.
Yeah.
Like, I love y'all enough to tell y'all that. Like, you're steady doing a detox every week, like an EMOM every minute of the minute. You're doing a detox every week of the week. And you still like, oh, man, I still don't look muscular. I still can't lift the weight that Erica lifts. I still can't finish a mile without running. It's not going to happen on a low deficit calorie meal.
Absolutely.
My 2 cents.
What do you say to the person that gets fixated on calorie numbers, whether that be the person that gets fixated on calorie numbers? So let's say I gave you an example earlier. Somebody was at 1,600 and they thought maybe they should drop down to 15 or 14, but 16 felt great for them. But again, their mindset took them to, well, I felt like I should still be eating less, even though 16 felt great for them. Like, I feel good, my body's making the changes it needs to make. But what if I go lower? What do you say to the person that still continuously gets fixated on dropping the number, even though where they're at is working?
You ever heard the saying, the 40s is the new 20s?
Yeah.
Or something like that? What in the hell does that really mean? Oh, the new 30s is the 50s. No, you're 53 or you're 27.
Yeah.
Your age is your age, right? It's a number. Now, I'm not saying that you can't feel good at 53 or 72. I'm not saying that. But if you're 72 years old, you're 72 years old, right? So that's my point as I roll into what you said. If you're at a deficit, if you're a nutritionist or coach and has you on a 1,600 intake meal and it's working, 1,500 is just a number.
Yeah.
Like, if you're getting results from the 1,600, the question is, why do you think 1,500 is going to make you feel better?
Yeah.
So is that pride? Is that just a mental concept that you want to see come to pass? I think you have to really dig deep and see why you want that number. So again, if I'm 38, why would I walk around saying, hey, I'm really 30? I want to feel like I'm 30. I want to move like I'm 30. I want to be able to create and have the strength as a 30-year-old. But the truth is, I'm 38, right? I'm 38, but I can hang with the 30-year-olds. I can be smarter than a 30-year-old. And the same thing with your deficits at 1,600. If 1,600 gets you the results that you need, like, why do you have to go to 1,500 if 16 work? Now, I think you really have to dig deep because, golly, I'm going somewhere that I shouldn't go. It goes back into programming, right? A lot of girls feel like they need that white picket fence with 2 kids by a certain age. And if they don't have that by that age, sometimes they don't feel the way that they should feel. A lot of men think by the age of XYZ, they should be providing for their family. If they don't have that type of financial income, then they don't feel like the way they should feel.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we hear a number based upon what somebody else said. Well, Oprah said that she did 1,500 calories and it worked for her. And you heard that when you was at 13.
Yeah.
Now you're 33 and you have that number, that has nothing to do with your success and your results. It's just something that you've been programmed with. So going to a whole nother chapter of this podcast, but I think it really kind of comes down to programming.
Yeah.
I would ask you, why bro, or why sis 1,500? Why 1,300? If 16 works, why 15? What made you say 15 was the number?
Yeah.
And the second thing, and I'm going to put this one under 10 seconds, the shocking truth in fitness is whatever works, sometimes you have to stick with what works. You don't have to keep going more and more and more. If you work out 45 minutes a day and you've been finding success from it, you don't got to go to an hour next week and then an hour and 15, and then 4 years from now you're at 4 hours a day. You don't have to keep adding on to fitness.
Yeah.
It's really simple. So
Long-winded, but I like it.
hey,
I like it.
Detoxed it out. That was nasty. Don't be.
So another question to you. I kind of want to talk to the person that's watching this right now and is saying, I eat right. I do things right. Maybe I have 1 cheat meal a week. Maybe I have 2. Maybe I have 3. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But for the 80-20, I follow it. But it's not quite working. What do you say to that person?
The shocking truth? Get professional help. Because at the end of the day, sometimes it takes a sample from your blood to know what's really going on in your body, right? Sometimes people have other things going on besides the macros.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. But number two, I think for the most part, 80-20 is a good balance. But sometimes it's 85-15 for some, right?
Bottom line, yeah.
Sometimes it's 10-90 for others. Everybody's made differently. And my cheat meal, for an example, I rather go to Lupe.
Mm-hmm.
For those that don't know, we go to Lupe a lot. And have a fajita, beef fajita steak, knowing that I'm eating a lot of carbs in the tortillas. And I'd rather do that at 2 p.m. after our boys' game,
Mm-hmm.
right? But strategically, I know that I'm probably going to move more after that day, and I can potentially even work out after or maybe even before,
Yeah.
right? But eating that same meal at 10 o'clock at night with 2 Grand Gold margaritas is going to get me a different result.
Absolutely.
So I think strategically, yeah, I get the 80-20, but you got to be strategic with your 20.
Yeah.
So that's what the bottom line is.
I like that. I think I feel very similar in what you just said. It's kind of funny that you said that. I have been very transparent about what I've been eating.
Shout out to Jared.
And Erica told me if I'm not transparent about what I ate for lunch today, she gonna tell the world.
Oh, what you eat, bro?
I had Cane's for lunch. So
Cane's?
Yeah,
Out of all places,
of all
Cane's?
places, I had Cane's.
What's part?
Huh?
Going on West Park?
No, it was off of it was Shepherd and one of them.
You had the sauce?
Westheimer.
You had the sauce?
Yeah, I had the sauce.
What is that sauce? We just eat it.
Cane sauce.
It's sauce.
A sauce. But yeah. So I had that for lunch. But again, in having that, like I know tonight I'm gonna eat clean because I had that.
Yeah.
So one thing that I typically do, especially when it comes to the 20, like a piece of advice I give to people, you're not always going to be great. When I was coaching, I told every athlete that I had this: if you had a bad practice, you're not going to always have the best practices.
Yeah.
You're not going to always have amazing special practices where you go out and do things. Sometimes you're going to have a down, off period, but the great ones don't mess up twice. The great ones don't have a bad practice twice. So come back tomorrow, figure out what the hell happened today.
I like that.
Figure out why everything went wrong, but tomorrow, be great.
I like that.
You don't do it back to back. So that's how I feel with meals whenever it comes to a
That's
cheat
good.
day, a cheat, a bad weekend,
solid.
whatever it is. It's okay. Like you're not perfect. You're not perfect. Point blank period. You're not perfect.
Yeah.
You're not intended to be. That being said, if you want to have the results you want to have, if you want to be great, it can't happen twice.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a bad lunch, you can't have a bad dinner. If you're going to have a bad dinner, you can't have a bad breakfast. If you're going to have a bad breakfast, you can't have a bad lunch. Like it's that simple.
Y'all comment. Let me know if y'all agree with that or disagree, because I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. What did you say? Athletes, you say you would tell an athlete, the greats, don't do something twice?
We don't mess up twice, yeah. You got one bad practice, but you can't have 2 in a row.
I like that. Okay. Here's a good one, Jay, and we can get close to wrapping this up. She talking about you can have one donut. So I messed up on this first one, but I can't mess up on this second one. Here's a good one. shocking truth about fitness, right? And we're talking calories. I hear the 80-20 rule a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Milton. Milton does an incredible job with his 80-20. And he's the reason why I'm bringing this up.
Okay. Shout out to Milton.
Shout out to Milton. I almost said the family nickname. How do you feel about the 20%? Right?
Yeah.
And what I mean, how do you feel about the 20%? How bad is your 20%? Because if you've ever been around Milton, especially when he does his challenge, the shred challenge, his 20% is really, really strategic. So, for example, he'll be like, if he has like an alcohol beverage during that 20%, it'll be like, hey, man, because I'm going to have a drink, I won't have this in my 20%.
Yeah.
So I see sometimes people like, oh, 20%, my 20% is just about to be the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
But his 20% is not that bad.
Yeah.
And I took that from him during my last challenge when I was challenging myself. I looked up the serving size of chips at Lupe. And the serving size wasn't that bad based upon my macros if I had 20 chips or less. So I didn't just say, hey, 20% of the time I'm about to be bad. I was making sure my 20% was still measurable.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, hearing that? Like, is 20% supposed to be like the worst thing ever, or still your 20% is still a little bit more measurable?
I think it's first off, it's all based on your goals. I still believe, but I think that dependent, like if you're really serious about getting to where you're trying to go, I think the 20% should still be measurable. We sit there and we measure out the good stuff. Why not measure out the bad stuff as well, just to know exactly what you're putting into your body? Like if you really want to be strategic and you're really saying, I did everything that I could. I know some people just hate measuring. I get that. But at the end of the day, if you want to get to where you want to be, you have to do it. You have to do it. It's AI, practice.
Practice.
We just played a game. Y'all talking about practice?
Practice.
But it's something you have to do. You can't go out in the game and perform and not practice properly. You got to practice. So that's really what looking at your food and measuring it is. You cannot put numbers up without having strategically known exactly what it is you've put into your body. That's why bodybuilders are so like you said, they know to the T exactly what they're putting into their body, because they have to know what it does to their body specifically. And when we tell you guys 80-20, you can list out the food that you've had in a week and put a percentage on it. 80% of my food was healthy, 20% of it was not. And then we could break it down even further. 12% of my diet was XYZ. 60% of my diet was protein. You can literally break it down if you actually measure it out.
Yeah.
But why are we gonna leave a big question mark on the 20%? Because that matters too, right? So I actually really like that what Milton said. Like, okay, I'm eating or I'm drinking this tonight. So I was gonna have this cookie, but I can't have this cookie because I'm drinking this, and that's really gonna throw things. So like, I really think that's important as well.
I like it. Also, to the point of like knowing your body, right? Because if you're 20%, if your body don't process carbs, right, that well, or the worst carbs versus a more cleaner carb, like then your 20% need to have more cleaner carbs, right? But this is my shocking truth, and then I'm gonna shut up unless you ask me any more questions, okay? Because I hear this so much about the 80-20, Jared. This is to you, bro. This is to you, sis. The 80-20 is a measurable tool for those that are looking for something to be sustainable moving forward. The shocking truth is when you say, hey, I have a wedding dress I'm trying to get into 90 days, there's no 80-20 then. Because I see this too much time in and time out, and I love y'all so much, I'm going to just rip the Band-Aid off. If you're trying to look a certain way by a certain time, sometimes you go at a measure that's not sustainable, right? We've talked about that. But 80-20 is more made for someone that's trying to be sustainable. That's more of a journey. That's a life. Like, I love 80-20 for the average person that's saying, hey, I just want to look good, feel good, and I'm not in a rush to lose my 10 pounds. I may lose 10 pounds in 8 months. But for the person I'm trying to lose 10 pounds in 6 weeks, you can't go out and say, oh, Christian Jared said I can do 80-20, and then you do 80-20 for 6 weeks, and you're like, I only lost 2 pounds. No, it's the 80-20 rule is not measured for you to get these crazy results, these shocking results. That's not 80-20. 80-20 is for the person that's like longevity, for the person that's saying, I just want to live good and feel good about myself. But I don't know why I wanted to say that, but I felt the need to, because a lot of people do take those snippets of what you hear on people's social media and said, well, that guru trainer in California that has 10 million followers said I just need an 80-20 if I do 80-20, and then 6 months down the line didn't work that way, and now they're discouraged. They don't think fitness works for them. No, it's not that. It's just 80-20 is more of a longevity route. So I love y'all enough to tell you that.
I really like that. I think that when it comes to like stuff like that, I think is important for you if you're training for the Beast Mode Games here in 2 weeks. Like, you're probably not doing 80-20. You're probably doing 90-10. You're probably doing 95-5, right? Because you're trying to get ready. You're trying to get your cardio up. You're trying to get your body right. And you're focusing on a healthy diet. You want to perform. You want to kill it in the next 2 weeks. But after that's up, probably pop back to that 80-20.
Easy
right?
money.
So I really like what you're saying there. It just all boils down into it. And for me, like, personally, I think I'm currently in that 80-20. I'm not in a point where I have to eat 100%. I'm not training for anything specific right now other than just getting my body right. It always kind of blew. I'm obviously coming from football. We burn so many calories. It was eat what you want to eat.
Yeah.
Like, obviously you had certain meals that you ate on a regular, but if a burger was out there, I'm eating that burger.
Yeah.
If pizza was out there, I'm eating that pizza. Heck, we had pizza post-game meals over every game we play. So the reason I say that is because I realize, like, especially, you know, the health freaks, like, they have this pantry full of just the cleanest of things.
Right.
And then we talk about, what's the burger we had from the Burger Bus that one time? That
The burger
waffle
bu- Waffle
burger.
bus.
Yeah,
Oh, man, don't
waffle
remind
bus.
me about those days.
So I
Ooh.
think of stuff like that, and then, you know, the health freaks are like, I would never put that in my body. But for me, it's like, man, that's part of my 20.
Straight up.
I'm still gonna work out. I'm still gonna, you know, work hard during the 80. But I say all of that to say, like, I think that's the difference between longevity and training for something. Training for something, I would
Totally
never go near the waffle bus. But if I'm just trying to look good, you can indulge in that kind of stuff when it's within your 20%.
Yeah.
Now, granted, that might eat up.
It's going to eat a portion of
That
it.
might eat up a big portion of it.
Yeah.
But if you enjoy that once this week, but that's the only time you enjoy that,
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
But as I said, like, for the people that are like, I haven't been there. I haven't been there since I was in my early 20s. Okay.
That's your.
I mean, it's your choice. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I'm not, you know, bashing or judging anybody. But for those that feel like that basically are made feel some type of way because they actually do go there every now and again,
Yeah.
it's okay to go there every
Yeah.
now and again.
Yeah.
It's okay to do those kinds of things. So that's why I really like the longevity piece of that.
Yeah, man.
I hate that people think they just have to cut everything that they love out of their diet whenever it's time to say, okay, let's lose some weight.
Absolutely.
You don't have to cut it all off. It's not a cold turkey thing. It is a portioning. It is a, we'll call it what it is. It's restricting yourself from going there and indulging every single time you
Yep.
want to.
Yep.
That's the hard truth. You have to stop going there every time you
Word.
want to.
Word.
But you don't have to cut it out completely.
I love it, man. It's a hope that people understand that this comes from a place of love.
Yeah.
And also not from a place of perfection. You just heard Jared said, you know,
Canes.
our canes and waffle bus moments. But
What was it? What they say today?
what was it?
I think it was. They didn't say chicken, but it was something like that. What chicken you picking? It
What
just makes me
chicken?
laugh every time.
What chicken you picking?
What
Yeah,
chicken you
we
picking?
down south if y'all listening to this on the west or east coast. But you know, you think of 100 meals. Out of 100 meals, 80 of them are great, man. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And I think also too, when you eat 80% of the time clean, you know when you are passing that below button of 80.
Mm.
Like today, I knew. Like, that's why I got on the scale today.
Yeah.
I felt
You
that
felt
my
it.
80% is now 70-30, right?
Yeah.
And it's perfect. I can tune right back into it,
Yeah.
right? So at the end of the day, man, my goal, I believe Jared's goal with this episode and this show is just to let everybody know that there are things that are true when it comes to different food plans and detoxes and fasts. But overall, you got to look at what you want to do,
Yeah.
and does that align with your overall goal?
Yeah.
If you want to cleanse your body, take a detox. If you're gaining spiritual strength and weakening the body, do a fast.
Yeah.
If you want to lose weight, fill your body to a measure that's going to make your body move effectively.
Yeah.
And also put yourself in a position to build muscle
Mm-hmm.
and eat clean so you can lose fat and gain muscle. Vice versa, if you want to put on muscle, you're going to have to eat a little bit more than you intake to put on mass. But that's it. You do not have to starve yourself. You shouldn't be catching headaches every morning every evening. You shouldn't be snapping off at everybody that come across your lane. You should be at a place where you can do this long term.
Yeah.
And that'll be my love challenge question for you. If you're doing something right now that's not long term, why are you doing it?
Absolutely. I would. I'm a piggyback your love challenge.
Say it again. And
Eat
Erica
good
said, make
after
sure.
you do a detox.
And shout out to Erica because she did a detox, and I'm proud of her 3-day detox. But one thing she did dope when I seen her today, she was eating the right things coming off of detox.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to go to the Waffle Bus right after detox. You just you was in there like this.
That's how you sound, Erica.
You shaking. In there sweating.
She was exercising some demons in that restroom.
So, I did that though. Yeah. Big poop.
Oh my God.
You heard me? To my big poop.
Oh my God. Big.
All right, I think that's it for this episode as we get off topic too much. But Jay, you got any closing remarks, man, before we get out of here?
Oh man. I was gonna piggyback what you said about loving yourself, man. Your bodies, you gotta love your body. When it comes to fueling your body needs the energy it needs to break down, to operate, to do the things that it needs to do. So, like we said today, the shocking truth: the less you intake, the more you lose. Is not realistic. The less you intake, the less your body has to do what it needs to do.
Yeah.
Make sure you fuel your bodies properly. Make sure you're giving your body some love, right? The attention that it needs. Make sure it has the amount of protein it needs to build muscle, the carbs it needs to burn, the fats it needs to sustain the energy that it needs to do what it needs to do in your body. Your body needs energy to burn fat. If you don't give it the energy to burn the fat, it can't burn it for you. So make sure you show your body some love.
I'm glad you said that because I was thinking right before you said all I have to say, I was like, we didn't give them anything to move forward on. What's their next action step?
Yeah.
So I'm glad you said those things because at the end of the day, man, we don't want people to leave this show or podcast and be like, okay, I'm not supposed to starve myself. What do I do now?
Yeah.
So as Jared just said, man, focus on just winning every day. It don't have to be huge milestones every time you win. It's, small increments of just building success. And South Beach died. Atkins died. What's some other diets? Can't think of a whole bunch of them.
Intermittent fast.
Like, honestly, guys, they all work.
Yeah.
Right? All of them work. Vegan, vegetarian.
It's all what works for you.
Yeah, just what works well for you, what works well for your body. Educate yourself on how to get better at it. But at the end of the day, man, the cleaner you eat, the better you feel.
Absolutely.
The more unprocessed versus processed, the better, right? The more water, the better, right? So we all can have supplement things that we do to get us through the day. But at the end of the day, man, if y'all can do those things and not starve yourself, I can see yourself being more peaceful, happy, and more longevity of results.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, if that's it on your end, that's it on my end.
That's it.
Well, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed today's episode. We love the 5 stars. We love your reviews. Down below for those that are joining us live, shout out to you guys for joining us live. It's always fun to see your instant reactions as we're processing what's in our brain. But, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. We see you next time.
All right.
Y'all take care.